Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Splash of Prudence here, and my name is Prudence. So
in today's tutorial
I'm going to be teaching you how I made this sleeve. So if you notice, it has a pair of trousers. So I have a tutorial on how I made the trouser, how I made the after dress, and here we are for the sleeve. So I'm going to have this material on a fold as though I was cutting a flare or a circle. Okay, so I'm just going to fold this up. This is for the two sleeves. Okay, so I have this pattern paper. I have a video on how I made this basic sleeve, so if you're interested, the video is on the description box below, so just do well to check it up and watch. So I'm just going to trace this out. So while I was cutting this pattern paper, I added an allowance of 1.5 inches. Okay, so you can as well add whatever you feel like adding. So I'm just going to trace this line out up to the edge of this fabric. Okay, as you can see. So after then, I'm going to be tracing out the armhole too, but take notes when I'm tracing this out, since the puff is going to be at the top and at the bottom too, I'm not just going to trace this exact armhole. I'm going to extend my hand upwards. Okay, so that is going to be the puff at the top of the armhole. So I'm just going to fold this up, and as you can see, I'm ruffling it. So I just want to cross check the measurements if after ruffling it will still fit into the armhole. So I have an armhole of 16 inches, so dividing it by 2, because this is on 2 fold for 2 sleeves, it will be giving 8. So as you can see, this is 7, so it's not up to what I want. So I'm just going to unpin this. Okay, I'm going to unpin it and then move it downwards so that I can create room for a bigger allowance for it to fit into the armhole I have. Okay, so moving this down, I'm also going to still secure it with my pin so it doesn't move. Okay, and we are just going to repeat the same process of tracing out the armhole. As you can see, just trace out the body and then straighten this up down to the end of this fabric. Okay, straighten this up, we just have to mark out the top of the sleeve cap. Okay, we just want to straighten that up to the edge of the fabric, also on this part too, and then you mark the curve you want to ruffle. So there's no fixed measurement for this. You can just do it as much or as little as you wish to. And then we are also going to still ruffle these to cross check our measurements. Okay, because you have to make sure that this fits into your armhole even after ruffling. So checking this out now, you can see this would do, this would serve for what we need. Okay, so the next thing now is to cut this out. So guys, do well to ask any questions you have in the comment section below and share your thoughts with me. What's your favorite kind of sleeve to cut? And let me know if you feel this idea will work out for you. Okay, and then share with me the methods you use. So this is what we'll be having cutting out the armhole. So I'll go ahead to cut out the remaining part of this fabric. So do well to check out on the rest of my videos. I have interesting videos. Okay, so we're just going to cut this out, and this is actually fun, easy, and simple. So we're just going to notch the cap there and also notch the point where our ruffling is going to end. That is important. Okay, so you just don't ruffle blindly when you are sewing. Okay, so we've notched two ends, unlike your normal sleeve that you just notch the edge of the fabric. This we are notching where the ruffling is going to end, and we are also going to notch this point where our normal basic sleeve ends. This is also for us to know where our ruffling is going to stop at this down part. Okay, so we are going to unpin and remove our pattern paper, and then when we open this up, this is what we are going to be having. And if you notice, this down part is sharp, so we want to just give it a little curve so we can sew comfortably. Okay, we are going to use our French curve, but if you're comfortable using free hand, I repeat again, you can use your free hand. You don't have to stress yourself. Sewing is actually fun, so you have to do what you're comfortable with so long as it works out for you. Okay, so we are going to cut this out, as you can see. So this is what we'll have after cutting it out. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and fold it again, and then give that edge a notch. Okay, you have to notch this point so you have an equal sewing. Okay, so this is what we have after notching this. So I'm just going to go ahead to open this up. Okay, so let's open this part. Okay, opening it up, I want to show you how it looks when it's ruffled. So this is how it will look by the time you ruffle it, and you're just going to stop at that point you notched. Okay, can you see it? And also for the top, you're going to ruffle it too. So this is already looking nice. Okay, if you don't want it as big as this, you just have to reduce the sleeve cap, and also this down part you can make it to be a little lesser than that. Okay, so I want to go ahead to cut the band because this puff sleeve has a band. If you notice, if you saw the thumbnail, you notice it has a band. So I'm just going to go ahead to cut this band for it. So while cutting the band for this, you have to use your exact sleeve measurement, unlike for the sleeve itself that we added because we are puffing it. For this band, you are going to be using the exact sleeve measurement. So my sleeve cap is, I want it to be 2 inches actually, so I'm marking 2.5 because I'm going to be using 0.5 for seam allowance. So I'm just going to mark this all round. Okay, so that I can connect these lines together. So I'm just going to go ahead to connect these lines together. So you can decide to use a paper stay or any other stay you feel comfortable using on this band. I might decide to leave it. Okay, depends on the material you're using. So I'm just going to go ahead and then cut this out. Okay, so after cutting this out, you know we are cutting this for the two sleeve. We have a pair of sleeve, right? So we are going to fold this up and then fixing our actual sleeve measurement plus the number of allowance we want. Okay, so my lower sleeve here is 9 inches, so dividing it by 2 is 4.5, and then remember I added 1.5 inch to my pattern paper, so I'm just going to add that up to the 4.5 I have, which is going to amount to 6 inches. So I'll be marking that and adding my extra allowance. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead to cut this out. Take note, whatever allowance you add on your main sleeve, that is what you should be adding on this sleeve band, so by the time you're joining, it's going to be accurate. Okay, so this is what we'll have for the two sleeves. Okay, this looks beautiful. This is beautiful. So this is me after putting my paper gum on the band of the sleeve, and I'm just going to fold it up and notch it. Don't joke with your notches, please, because this is actually a guide. It serves as a guide. And take note, you should know that this point, this sharp point, is the down part of your sleeve. Okay, it actually looks tricky. This is the down part of your sleeve. Okay, so that point where there's a notch, you're going to place it on where you actually notched on your band. First of all, you have to pin the beginning of the main sleeve together with the beginning of the band, okay, so that you know what's left you is what you have to ruffle. You can pin it a couple of inches forward. Okay, don't joke with your pin if you don't trust yourself, or even if you trust yourself, just to have an accurate sewing, an accurate measurement, you have to pin this up. Okay, pinning helps you avoid losing. That's the importance. Actually, you won't have to lose, because you know by the time you lose, you're altering your measurements. So after pinning this up, now you know that this is what we have to ruffle. Okay, this is actually fun. You can actually use this method for any other thing you want to ruffle. Okay, so you might decide to ruffle with your sewing machine, or you ruffle with your hands. So I'm going to show you how to ruffle with your sewing machine. Okay, so this is what we'll have. We're just going to go ahead and sew half inches. Okay, because I added half inches to the band, so when you're sewing, you have to maintain that half inches in sewing. So this is what I have after sewing and ruffling this out. Okay, so you can go ahead and weave this point. Okay, so this is what I have. If you don't want it as sharp as this, you can remove it. So the down part of this is stitch machine. As you can see, you bring it down, and then that is what you'll be using for this sleeve cap. Okay, you take that stitch to the last part. Okay, so the sewing can be free, it's not a tight one. Then you have to drag this a little. You be careful, that's why you sew it 2 times, so in case one of the rope cuts, you have to fall back on the other one. Okay, you have to take your time and set this pleats that you're ruffling. Okay, you have to take your time and do this. This is actually nice. You can decide to use the method I used for the down part of it. I didn't use my sewing machine first, but this I use it first because I just want to show you guys how to do it. Okay, so if you notice at this point, one of the thread was already gone, so I had to fall back on this other one. So you see the importance of sewing it twice, and don't make it tight. Okay, that's why I said you have to bring your stitch down. Then after dragging this up to the point of the notch, you have to secure this by tying it up. Okay, so when you're sewing, you know you're just sewing, you don't have to ruffle it. So whichever method you find comfortable is actually fine. So I'm just going to cut this thread, and then this is actually what we'll have for our basic sleeve. This is lovely, guys, and easy. If you have questions, let me know in the comment section below. Okay, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you know someone who is learning fashion designing, do well to share this video with this person, because it is going to be helpful. Okay, so this is what we'll have for the 2 sleeves. I went ahead to cut an embellishment for this sleeve. Okay, so I left my 1.5 inches allowance on both ends, because that was what I added while I was sewing, so that by the time I'm sewing, I don't sew on the embellishments. Okay, but it's actually fine, but I just want to avoid that. So this is what we'll have, guys. I have a tutorial on how I made this complete dress. Thanks for splashing.